Today we continue with our class Halachos of Brochos, and we start with Sefer Shmiras Haloshon. Today's topic is, the topic is turn from evil and do good. That's actually what we say in Shabbos, right? This from Tehillim 34. In this work, we'll focus on David HaMelech's words, which man desires life, who loves days of seeing good. So that's a question. Guard your tongue from evil, and your lips from speaking deceit. It's from Tehillim 34, verses 13 and 14. That's we say it on Shabbos, every Shabbos we say. So you want life, so what to do? So David HaMelech, the holiest man that ever lived, he said it's very simple, right? Guard your tongue from speaking deceit, right? Don't speak Haloshon hara. Let us now examine the next verse. Turn from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. Okay, so that's actually Mesilas Yesharim speaks a lot about this verse. He develops many ideas from this. But basically, it's our approach in a kiruv. So what is the approach in a kiruv? Stop doing bad and then do good. So other many people they do the opposite and they fail, right? They think that they smarter than David HaMelech, and they say no, let him continue do bad, but he's going to go good, and it's going to bring him to do stop bad. And guess what? It does not work. Okay, continue. There is a basic distinction between the reward or punishment for a mitzvahs that are between man and God, and those between the man and his fellow. Okay. Okay. So just to remind us, we just had Rosh Hashanah not too long ago. So the Rosh Hashanah was a judgment. It was a judgment day, as we said, but it was only between us and Hashem, right? Between the issues. So that's the only issues that we could resolve from that day, on the judgment day. But but issues between man and man, we have to go. If we offended somebody or whatever, we owe money to somebody, we have to go to that person, right, and try to work out with him. So don't try to work out with Hashem, because he cannot help you, right? Two separate cases. The primary reward of the or the punishment for the former is received in the world to come. Okay, such is not the case with the mitzvahs between man and his fellow. So for all of these things, of all of the mitzvahs that we do, right, between us and Hashem, everything like that today, learning Torah, right? So it's the reward, the primary reward is in the world to come. So now here there is almost no reward. As we explained yesterday, it's sometimes it's opportunity to do another mitzvah. But even that is not reward, right? It's just like Hashem grant us the way it works. You do mitzvah, and reward for that mitzvah is another mitzvah. So it's they call it reward in this world. Okay. As performance of these commandments, better one's fellow lot in this world. A significant portion of one's reward is bestowed in this world, measure for measure. So when we treat somebody, our fellow, good in this world, of course in this world, we can treat him good only in this world. So our reward is midah keneged midah, measure for measure. It's also in this world. Very interesting. Conversely, by transgressing these mitzvahs, one worsens his fellow's lot in this world. Therefore, the significant degree of retribution is exacted in this world, right? Then, when person, as the author says, worsen the fellow's lot in this world. So meaning what? When one person offended another person, when he borrowed money and say I cannot pay, even though he knew initially that he would not be able to pay, right? All of these things. So that person worsen the situation of his fellow in this world. Midah keneged midah, right? He's getting retribution in this world. And of course, it's the partial retribution, but the main retribution, unless he does tshuva, is going to be in the world to come. Next one. As we learn in Rambam Hilchos Teshuvah class. In the above verse, the term Ra, evil, and Tov, good, refers to the matters between man and his fellow. Thus, David informs us that one who seeks a good life in this world and the next must be especially zealous in fulfillment of his interpersonal obligation, right, as expressed in the Torah. So let me read this sentence one more time, and we're going to explain. Thus, David informs us that one who seeks good life in this world, so everybody is trying to seek a good life, right, in this world, and the next must be especially zealous in fulfillment interpersonal obligation, as expressed in the Torah. So if you want a good life, and good life, it's not like so good life for a religious Jew is a peace of mind, right? That we can learn Torah and do mitzvahs, so nobody would bother us. That's the only thing that the Jew should aspire to. That's it. All other things, it's just conveniences. It's not. They're not considered to be good. Only Torah is good. Other things are questionable. It depends. But Torah is always good. Hashem is always good. Turn from evil refers to the full gamut of the action prohibited by the Torah: robbery, usury, lending with interest, causing hurt, embarrassment, etc. So evil, what Torah says is evil, is considered to be evil. So it's very simple. You just look at the negative commandments. Right. Of course, in interpersonal negative commandments, that's our topic here, and you know exactly what not to do. Do good includes giving a tzedakah, right? Performing acts of kindness, offering financial assistance to a struggling businessman, burying the dead, visiting the sick, hosting the guests, returning lost object, paying workers' wages on time, etc. Okay. So that's what Torah obligates us to do, all of this mitzvah. And if Torah says, Hashem says, Torah was written by Hashem, right? So if He says it's good, that's good. Other things, so what people sometimes say, it's also Torah. So when somebody says it's also Torah, okay, don't believe that. Okay. Hearing the blowing of the shofar in Rosh Hashanah is a mitzvah which everyone makes every effort to fulfill. In the same way, one should strive to fulfill every mitzvah, and so to rejoice in the fulfillment. So shofar on Rosh Hashanah. I mean, okay, yeah. Some people try, yeah. All right. So I'm not sure why he's saying that. Hearing the blowing of the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. I mean, some like. Many like some, not many, but some people are exempt. So because it's a mitzvah that is connected to time. Okay, but people trying to be careful and listen to hear the shofar. Okay, makes sense. In the same way, one should strive to fulfill every mitzvah in rejoicing in its fulfillment. So one of the things that Hashem punished us in the past, he said it's not because we did not do mitzvah. Well, no, we did mitzvah. It's in the time of the second Beis Hamikdash. But he said you did the mitzvah like a robot, like to get rid of our obligation and without joy. That's offensive. Hashem said that this Torah that I give you is a tree of life, right? For those who grasp it, of course, right? And you make it like a burden. So whatever we do, we have to be with joy, not as a burden, right? As we say each night in Mariv prayer, therefore Hashem, our God, upon our retirement and arising, we will discuss your decrees, and we will rejoice with the words of the study of your Torah, and with your commandments. So Torah is the only thing that can bring joy, especially I would say, we just had a conversation in another group. what was it, yesterday, I think, right? So I mean, other things also, like physical things, they bring joy, but this joy is a short-lived. Like there is no satisfaction. Right? Maybe a person eats, I don't know, like tasty food, whatever he likes to eat, right? So after a few seconds, after he swallowed the food, that's it. There's no more joy. Maybe for a minute, that's it. But when you learn Torah, when you get to some chidush, when you learn a new halacha, that's joy that stays for much longer time, of course. Okay, stop here. All right, so we continue with Halachos of Brochos. So the last topic was very, very interesting. If you remember, just to remind us, we went over all kinds of soups. I don't know, what were like seven or 8 kinds of soups, and we say what bracha to say on each. No, it's actually 10. You see, it was 10, 12, 13. 13 kinds of soups, and we said what bracha to say on each one and why. It was very interesting. So today we start new topic, new chapter 24, and the topic is the title, Wine and Other Beverages. We spoke about it in another chapter a little, but now I guess we're going to go into details. So let's see, introduction. This chapter deals with the Brocha Rishona, so the first Brocha, requirement for wine and other beverages. Section A, I will discuss the various types of wine products. For example, raisin wine required Borei Pri HaGefen, while honey wine and brandy, distilled wine, are required shechakol. What bracha should be made on a wine mixed with seltzer? That's a famous question. The section B deals with the bracha for other beverages, except fruit juices and soups. Okay. So as just to remind us about these soups, right? It's very interesting. So if we say that, just to give one example, if somebody made a vegetable soup and he does not want to eat vegetable or just want to drink the soup itself, right? No vegetables. So he would say Borei Pri HaGefen on this soup, right? Because the liquid, the water, became like part of this vegetables, like saturated with the vegetables.
Rabbi, I have a question about certain soups. So when it comes to, usually we have the concept of when it comes to ikar and tafel, when you have mezonot, I think it has a major, considered major ingredient. Let's say you have noodle or pasta soup within the soup, and you have vegetables in it. So you say you go and I mean, let's to make it easier, let's say there's a lot of noodles and less vegetables. So what do you make the bracha on the mezonot?
Yes, 100%.
So on the vegetables.
No, that's it. Only one bracha on mezonot actually covers everything. And we actually said it was our topic last time. So even if it's minority of this pasta or whatever you have this, you still say Borei Min Mizonos, and it covers because it's important ingredient. So like general concept, just to remind us. On soups, we absolutely always say only one blessing, unless there is like the only exception we did not cover. He did not give this example, but let's say you have like a big piece of meat in there. So of course it's not part of the soup. It was maybe warmed in the soup or cooked in the soup, but it's not part of the soup. So that would be different. But otherwise, all of the ingredients are covered by one blessing. Okay. So but now. Let's leave all of these questions not related to this topic at the end of the class. But now we concentrate on wine. Section B deals with the bracha on other beverages, except fruit juices and soups, which were discussed in detail previous chapter. Continue. Note the halacha that wine exempts other beverages. This is when one recite Borei Pri HaGefen, and drinks wine, all other beverages which are in front of him or which he intends to drink are exempt from the bracha requirements discussed in chapter 6. Okay. The bracha achrana, requirements of the wine of grape juice, detailed in chapter 20. So as I said, many things from about wine were already covered. So let me just remind you, since they mentioned this chapter 6, which was a long time ago. So let's see. So in some sense, we can compare wine to bread, right? So same as bread covers all of the like solid foods and even all of the liquids besides wine, like let's say most of the liquids. There are some exceptions, right? Besides wine, right? Same here. Wine, it covers all of the beverages. So whatever beverages are in front of you on a table, or whatever you are planning to drink. Let's say you put in orange juice in refrigerator to chill out. There is no problem, even though it's not in front of you, but you meant to drink it. There is no problem. It is covered. So you drink wine, you say blessed Borei Pri HaGefen, and it covers all of the other beverages. And if you drink enough, so what is enough? So they explain enough is the enough is like around 3 ounces, right? Minimum 3.1 ounces, according to other opinion, to Chazanish is for 5.2 ounces, right? That's the Shiur, that minimum requirement of liquid that you need to drink in order to say the blessing. And plus we said there is also time constraint, right? During what time you must consume this liquid, right? And this liquid, the measurement is called revies, just to remind us, right? So this revies you must consume. So according to the most strictest opinion, you have to consume in no more than 3 sips. So 1, 2, 3, whatever time you need. I don't know, for 3 seconds, 4 seconds, whatever. So it's that's only then you would need to say the after blessing, bracha achrana. But according to other opinions, no. They say the time constraint is exactly the same as for solid foods, right? So when we say a person eats kizayis, we said it's 1 ounce, approximately 28 grams, right? It's less than 1 ounce. So, and you must eat it, preferably we said from 3 to 4 minutes, but up to 9 minutes. So the same poskim, they say no, same with beverages. So you must drink in this period up to 9 minutes. So meaning what? So even if you drink coffee, right? If you if it's very hot and you drink with a small sip, so according to second opinion, you would need to say the blessing. But according to the first opinion, so on you would never ever say the blessing on not on, but after drinking coffee or hot tea or other hot chocolate, or whatever, some hot beverages, because people don't usually drink such as this 86 grams, right, in such a short period of time. Okay, that's what we said. And bracha achrana, chapter 20. Okay, just to remind us what we said there. So blessing over the wine, right? That blessing is called me'am shalosh, right? Some people call al mechia, but al mechia is for mizonos. It doesn't matter. So two names of the same blessing. It's threefold blessing, right? So one is me'am shalosh. That's what Siddur called them, but people call it al mechia. Doesn't matter, exactly the same thing. So when you say this blessing after drinking wine, it also includes all of the covers all of the other beverages that you drank. No problem. Okay. So that's what we said before. So now, I mean, they have to add like totally new material, whatever we did not learn. So let's see. Okay, so it says, section A, wine. The Torah identifies wine as a fruit of the grape wine. It is only the fruit, it is the only fruit juice identified as the Torah as a fruit. So let me see, there is a commentary and we're going to explain. The oil of the olive is also identified as a fruit, as we said in chapter 22. Okay, so all of the juices, you squeeze orange juice, right? So it's not considered to be part of the fruit, right? So why? So what is it considered to be? Just to remind us, we said there is a liquid that was like captured in that vessel. So when you squeeze, you just let the liquid out. It's not like you squeeze the fruit and it's part of the fruit comes out. So if part of the fruit we would say the blessing, same as we say in the fruit, right? If you squeeze apples, right? So you would say on apple juice, Borei Pri HaGefen, but we don't say. We say shechakol because this liquid, as we said, this juice is not part of the fruit. It's very interesting. So the only two exceptions. So they say wine, but it's actually two. The only two exceptions is wine, because wine is more important than the fruit. Usually, in all other cases, fruit is more important than the juice. But here, since the Torah says prescribes us to use wine in all of these ceremonies, that's why it's important. Okay, so it's called fruit. And what else is called fruit? What is costs more, of course, than the fruit itself is olive oil. So not too many people eat olives, but a lot of people use olive oil for sure. So I'm not sure what is the ratio, how they produce, like how much goes to olive oil of olives and how much to pickle olives. But I think I just guess most of it goes to make olive oil. Okay, so fruit.
Sorry, just to clarify, the bracha on olive oil would be a shakol or a high?
Usually, that's a good question. So when we learned, it was also some time ago. So when we learn about olive oil is usually secondary. Right? People don't usually drink olive oil.
Yeah.
So it's you use it in a salad. You would fry in olive oil. You use it in other things. So it's always absolutely secondary. But sometimes you need to drink it for medicinal purposes. So it has nothing to do with you're enjoying it. You need to drink it for medicinal purposes. So like, and if you don't like the taste, for example, right? So you don't say any blessing at all.
Yeah.
Or you say shechakol, right? Because that's not, why is shechakol? Just to remind us, right? Because it's not normal way of eating thing. So that's not how people, like, for example, if you eat raw potato, right? Okay, well, let's say somebody has no other food, raw potato, so you would say shechakol on this potato. It's not hadama. It's not normal way of doing things.
I've also heard, let's say you have stolen food or something like that, you don't say a bracha on it also.
Yes, yeah, that's a different story. Yeah. Yes. Continue. Based on this characterization, there is calling wine a fruit of a tree, right? And in parentheses they say grape wine is considered to be tree. So I mean, of course, like it's not a bush, it's a tree. So what is the definition of the tree? There's something that's grown from the ground, and it sort of survives winter and produce the fruits from the same branches. Okay, that's the definition of the fruit, and of course, the wine is, of course, it's a tree. The designated bracha for wine should have been Borei Pri HaGefen, right? As we said, Chazal, however, noted a special intrinsic importance of wine, designated more specific bracha for it, Borei Pri HaGefen. Borei Pri HaGefen is valid on the fruit. Okay, no problem. So just to remind us what we said about mistakes, right? People make mistakes. So if a person says on the wine Borei Pri HaGefen, so after the fact, he does not have to repeat the blessing after the fact. Okay, so it was C. Continue. Since wine is identified as a fruit of a tree, some poskim rule that if one recites Borei Pri HaGefen or Borei Pri HaGefen on it, the bracha is valid. Exactly as we said. Yeah, we learned it in a different. I don't remember when we learned it. Oh, it's chapter 15. Yeah, so it's a very long time ago. Okay, a few months ago, 3 months ago. So bracha is valid. Accordingly, if that happens, the new bracha, if it happens, new bracha should not be made. Right. So we said it's very, very strict. So if sages say after the fact this bracha is valid, you're not allowed to make a new bracha, right? Because saying new bracha, if it's going to be bracha in vain, like it was unnecessary blessing, right? So it's actually biblical prohibition, right? If it's taking Hashem's name in vain, the third prohibition out of 10 commandments, right? Okay. So continue, right? But all of this blessing before the food or after eating the food is one of the 7 rabbinical laws. To remind us, rabbis added us only 7 rabbinical laws, so all others are biblical. Okay. Continue. There is commentary. If one can correct himself by reciting the correct ending, Borei Pri HaGefen, he should do so. This applies only if in cases where a mistake is caught and can be corrected koch kedei dibur, or recited in recital of incorrect phrase. Okay, so let's try to understand. So we learned it before, but I'm going to remind what we said before. So if you say wrong blessings, so you have this time period that is called koch kedei dibur. Is a translation, like literal translation, time it takes to say a phrase. So what phrase are we talking about? The phrase Shalom Aleichem Rabbi, which takes somebody said Rabbi Amori, so to make it a little longer, it's like, I don't know, maybe 3 seconds or so. So technically we have 2 seconds. So if I said wrong blessing, for example, in wine, I said Borei Pri HaGefen, and then right, and then I have these 2 seconds. I can fix myself, Borei Pri HaGefen. So I don't have to start from the beginning in order to fix the blessing. The only, because the beginning of the blessing is correct. The only thing that I made mistake only in the end. So that's the only thing I have to change. So it's going to sound Brocha Hashem, right? Borei Pri HaGefen, Borei Pri HaGefen. That's preferable, of course, to fix it if possible. But if not, as we said, we can rely on the opinion that after the fact, it is still fruit of the tree, right? And this blessing is going to be valid. Okay. So one more time, you have 2 or maximum, according to second opinion, maximum 3 seconds. That's it. Okay, continue. Grape juice. Even though grape juice lacks the attribute of being able to intoxicate, it is nevertheless classified as wine and requires Borei Pri HaGefen and Ala Gefen. So Ala Gefen, it's after blessing. Okay, grape juice. So it's very interesting. So let's see. Certain grape juices produced and exported to Israel and other countries to Israel. A bottle from concentrates. According to some poskim, Borei Pri HaGefen may not be made on these grape juices. In the United States, however, kosher grape juices currently available are not made from a concentrate and are unanimously subject to Borei Pri HaGefen. So what are you talking about here? The concentrate is I'm not sure 100% how they do. They like separate the most of the water. Sometimes they make they evaporate all of the water and create only like a powder, and it's easy, very cheap to transport to another country, right? And then just add water, and that's it. I think that's how they make all the other beverages like Coca-Cola. I think that they just transport to different countries, to different regions, the powder, and just add water, right? Okay. So technically, according to this poskim, and he says some poskim, but I think that's opinion also OU, Orthodox Union in US. I think that's what they say. So if you have from concentrate, so you have only little wine, actual wine, right? Most of the ingredients is water. So technically, of course, it has a flavor on wine, it has color on wine. We're not arguing, but ingredients, it was this a little of a powder, or like a concentrated liquid was mixed with a lot of water, right? You understand? So that's why they say on this you have to say shechakol. That's very strange. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Rabbi. So actually for Sfardim, it is according to Yalkut Yosef, I think only if it is 50% plus grape juice, you're allowed. You should say HaGefen. Mm-hmm. So a lot of they have to be very careful of a lot of the bottled grape juices. You have to look. I think Kedem is the brand, and I think Concord is mostly grape juice. So those ones you can, I think, say.
They're grape juice, but even though it is a grape juice, but it would be too strong to drink. So it is a grape juice, but they added water. So and it's very important. So if for example you buy this Kedem, right, the best grape juice, you buy this Kedem grape juice, there is no problem whatsoever. So even though I think it says on the bottle there is some concentrate, like I think it's appeared in the recent years, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Okay, even though there is from concentrate, there is no problem, but still there is a water. So when it concerns with water, concern of water is during Pesach, right? So on Pesach we have to drink 4 cups of wine or grape juice. So for some people, this is, for example, for people who have diabetes, this grape juice is too sweet. It's too much. It can kill them. And of course, these people they try to add some water, right? So a person must be very careful how much water you're going to add, right? Because there is a water there as it is. And according to OU, Kedem is supervised by OU, so they say 25-30%, no more, right? So I mean that's what I watched. They had a presentation before Pesach, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5 years, I don't know, like some years ago. So technically not much. They already put a lot of water, and with the wines the same. So we've always suggest people, if you cannot drink strong wine for Pesach, you can buy this I don't remember what it's called, it starts with M, whatever, Maltuk, something like that, and it's only have 7 degrees of alcohol, not 7, even less. I think like 5 degrees of alcohol. No, that's not much. So it's Kedem. It's Kedem, but it's very, very low on alcohol. Or if you don't, just mix it. You don't want to try. You don't eat. You don't want to drink this strong wine. Add the grape juice and add the water, right? So you can combine, but not too much. So You see, this OU told us clearly, like how much you can dilute, but for all other wines, you cannot just guess, right? You have to call them and tell them exactly what you're trying to do, and they're going to tell you how much you can add, right? Because for sure, in all of the wines there is water, for sure, guaranteed. Okay, we just don't know how much, and just because it has 13 degrees of strength does not mean that there is no water. Okay, so we said that. So grape juice, as we said, considered to be wine, right? But we have to be careful and see if it's from concentrate, not from concentrate, and stuff like that. So you have to be careful. Okay, continue. Grape wines. Champagne, cooked wine, pasteurized wine, raisin wines, and fruit-flavored grape wines. For example, plum royal, peach-flavored wine, sangria, are all classified as wine. These beverages require Borei Pri HaGefen and HaGefen. Okay, so let's see. So champagne is clear, right? It's sparkling wine, that's no problem. Cooked wine. So just because they cooked it and the beverage, I mean, still have all of the attributes of wines. Pasteurized wine, I think it's cooked is not heated as much as a pasteurized. So pasteurized meaning I think it should boil or very close to boiling point. Than cooked wine, it's a much lower temperature. Okay. And then continue raisin wine. So raisin wine we're going to actually learn. It's you soak raisin in water, in hot water, for some time. But it depends what raisin. It has to have they have to have some moisture in there. So I mean, if it's like very old raisins, so I don't think you can extract much liquid from there, right? And fruit flavored grape wines. So what is it? That's what Manischewitz does, right? So when you buy these Manischewitz wines, right? First of all, they're very sweet, but I personally like this peach wine, but you have to read what it says on the label. So because on the label it would say the blessing. For example, there is a wine like blackberry, like I think like blackberry wine, so it's shihakol, right? But peach wine is HaGefen. But the only way you would know, only read the label and see what blessing to me. Okay. So be careful with all of this flavored wine, fruit wines, right? I mean the taste of peach, but it's actually it's actually white wine. Okay. Continue. Number 3, non-grape wines. Honey wine, meat, cherry wine, apple wine, and the like are not made from the grapes and are therefore subject to shechakol. So even though they call wine, so people have sometimes think that just because it's called wine, so it must have grapes. It's not true. Even though majority of the wine is made from grapes, but sometimes it's cherry wine. So cherry wine, did I ever try cherry wine? I don't think so, but I saw it in the store, right? Apple wine, okay. So we say shechakol. Continue. Brandy, cognac. Brandy, cognac. Brandy is a spirit distilled from wine or fruit juice. For example, blackberry brandy, cherry brandy. Okay, brandy from grapes of the cognac. This cognac district in France is called cognac. Okay. So all of the brandy, of course. Then I mean, the only brandy that is made from grapes is cognac. So and on this you have to, of course, have a stamp on all of them. Not all of them. On many brandies, since the way make it them like straightforward, there is no like non-kosher ingredients, right? That are involved. So some people would drink it without Hashem, without kosher stamp, right? I think that there are a list of liquors that are kosher without stamp, I think, right? But brandy from the grapes, of course, you must have a kosher stamp. That's for sure. Okay. Continue. Why? Because it's considered to be wine. It's strong. I'm not sure what they do, but whatever they do, it's very strong and it's still wine. The minhag is to make shechakol on types of brandy and cognac, even though they're made from distilled wine. G commentary. In opinion of many poskim, since the distilled product is considerably altered from the original state, it is not subject to the Borei Pri HaGefen. Okay, so let's try to understand it. So even though there is an opinion, so you say Borei Pri HaGefen on this cognac, right? Because it clearly is made of the grapes, but according to this opinion, so they say majority of the poskim, many. It says many. I apologize. It says many say shechakol. Why do they say shechakol? Because it's changed too much. Like it's processed so much, so you cannot even recognize the original product. What was it made from? Right. So that's when we say shechakol. Like as we discussed before, for example, you have some kind of pureed food, like you have no idea what is it, or right. So in this case, and you would say shechakol. But if you have for example, mashed potatoes, right? So technically, you should say shechakol on mashed potatoes because you don't see pieces, so you cannot say Borei Pri HaGefen. So you have to see the pieces of the fruit of the ground, right? But you don't. But the minhag ha'olam, that's what we say, right? We say actually Borei Pri HaGefen. Why? Because it is potatoes. But many times you, like without the fruits or vegetables, you have no idea what is it. It could be, I don't know, even yogurt mixed with banana. I don't know. You have no idea. Okay. So one more time on this cognac. I'm not sure how many of us drink cognac. I don't drink this stuff, but you can say shechakol if you want, or you can say Borei Pri HaGefen. But Borei Pri HaGefen, I mean, sounds more logical to me. But we can follow this as for all of the brandies. Why? Because it changed. Yeah, go ahead. What is it? Okay, no problem. Was the actual question or was it accident? Okay, no problem.
I had a quick question, Rob, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, no, I don't mind. Of course, go ahead, please.
So when you drink like that,
sorry, you're breaking up. Could you start your question again? When you drink what?
So root beer or something. Let's take the scale. I'm sorry, it might be cutting out.
Yeah. Could you ask your question again, please?
So a drink like that, like the cognac or something, say if it's like too strong for like myself, and I want to water it down or whatever, like with some Coke or root beer or something, another drink of that nature, does the blessing change or then it still stays the same?
Mm-hmm. So the only it's a good question. I don't think we got to this question yet, but let me answer like since you asked. So the question might change. So only if we're talking about wine or cognac. So otherwise it's shechakol. So if you mix, I don't know what people mix. They put vodka and they put I don't know what is it, orange juice. They mix it. It's all shechakol. Doesn't matter. Like you say on a grape juice or on a vodka, that does not make any difference. So the only difference it makes when you dilute grape juice too much, right? As Ishai said. So according to Rabbi Yosef Zatzal, it's actually if you add 50%. But as we said, what I know, like practically, maybe yes, maybe no, because it depends on the manufacturer. They want a stronger, they want a lighter. They can add as much water as they want. So, and of course, only kashering agency would know for sure. So that's what I do. People ask me questions. You think I'm a genius? I call them. How would I know? Like, how would I know some ingredient? Somebody asked me what bracha should I make on some cereal. So I did not know what bracha to make. Of course, I mean, I guess even though it says corn flour, but we know it's not corn flour. I mean, it is a corn flour, but mostly wheat. So I asked them how much wheat and what bracha should I make. Of course, they know what I'm talking about. So they say, yeah, but I'm in a mizoinus. Even though it's a corn flakes, this flake, this does not make any difference. Only the manufacturer, they know. Only these rabbis know. I would not know. Just looking at the packages, most time you would not know. You understand? Same with this wine, with this, it depends how much you add water. So up to the certain amount, like I said, the kedem juice, that's what I heard from OU themselves. They say 25%, 30 max. Don't add more because you cannot say Borei Pri HaGefen. So on this, let's say if a person put 31% of water to this grape juice, right? So he would have to say shechakol, even though it tastes like orange juice a little lighter, but you would say shechakol. But that's the only exception. For other beverages, you say shechakol anyway. You understand? I think they're going to discuss it, but we didn't get it. Okay, any other questions before we continue? Okay, so continue. Diluted, here we go. Diluted wine and seltzer. Okay, so some people, I don't know, for me, the wine costs so much and seltzer is such, why would you waste wine? I don't know. For me, it's waste. Okay. Borei Pri HaGefen may be made on wine and seltzer or wine and water mixture, provided that most people will drink such a mixture in place of wine. I don't know. I see footnote. Let's see. It says provided that the mixture contains at least 50% of wine, as we said, right? According to some paskim, the mixture must contain at least 2/3 of wine, right? Two-thirds. That's what we said, 30%, right? But as I said, it depends on a case by case basis. So, but they gave us a general rule. So according to some opinions, it's 2/3. According to other opinion, we said 50%. Okay, no problem. But it's 50%, as we said, overall wine, water, or seltzer. Let's talk about water for simplicity. So, but if manufacturer added 30%, and you added 30%, 50%, that's mostly water. That's we have to take it into consideration, of course. If most people would not drink such a mixture in place of wine, the bracha is shechakol. Okay, okay, no problem. Since it is often difficult to judge if people, here we go, would drink a particular mixture in place of wine, it is suggested that one who wishes to dilute wine should preferably make the Borei Pri HaGefen on undiluted wine or grape juice. That's a perfect advice. Then when making Borei Pri HaGefen, the diluted wine, just 1 second, when making Borei Pri HaGefen, the diluted wine drink should be in front of him, or he should have in mind to exempt it. Okay, so that's a perfect solution what he offers. So he said, okay, you want to dilute wine to any any proportion. Well, whatever, it's your own business, right? So, but he says start like the smallest amount without diluting, right? The straight wine or whatever, straight grape juice, and the rest you can dilute it. There is no problem. But make sure that this drink that you're going to dilute in front of you, what you keep in mind, and that's it, and it is covered. There is no problem. And after blessing, the problem is after blessing. So if you dilute it a lot, so you say just Borei Nefashos as a regular blessing after other beverages, not wine. That's it. So very straightforward. Whatever he offers, that's a perfect solution. So start on undiluted, drink a little, because we have to make Brocha Rishona on any amount. Whatever you drink, any amount, even a little sip. I want to drink a little sip, so I have to make the blessing. Okay, and the rest you can drink whatever you want, no problem. So they say, okay, so here we go. Regarding the Bracha Achrana, so after blessing, for diluted wine, see footnote. Okay, so footnote, as it says, if one wishes to drink a Shiur of this mixture, and uncertainty will arise with regard to the Bracha Achrana. So Shiur meaning what? As we say, this 3.1 ounces to 5.2 ounces. That's Shiur. Like Shiur is like a portion, right? One can bypass the uncertainty by drinking the Shiur of undiluted wine. The HaGefen, which must be recited for undiluted wine, will exempt the diluted one as well. Others suggest by bypassing the uncertainty in a situation where making Bracha Achrana is questionable may be found in chapter 20, section F2. So let's try to understand before we go to that section. So first solution, they said very clearly to do what? Drink undiluted wine, these 3 ounces. Okay, but that's not what person wants. So or dilute, like for sure, like more than 50%. So according to all of the opinions, this beverage is no longer considered to be wine. Like do one of the two. Right? Okay. Or drink it slowly. Right, so you would not drink even in a 9 minutes. Okay, that's another solution. Okay, so let me see the time. Okay, so we have a little more time left. So do number 6, diluted grape juice. So as we said before, that there's almost no difference between grape juice and wine. Just right, diluted grape juice. One should not make Borei Pri HaGefen or diluted grape juice, even if only a small percentage of water beverage has been added. I'm not sure why he said that. It is suggested that if one wishes to drink diluted grape juice, he should make Borei Pri HaGefen on undiluted grape juice or wine when making Borei Pri HaGefen. The diluted grape juice should be in front of him, or he should have an intention to exempt it. Regarding Bracha Achrana for diluted grape juice, so footnote on the previous paragraph. Okay, so let's try to understand. So the author thinks that that you can dilute wine much more, right? Than you dilute grape juice. But as I said, I heard from the manufacturer themselves, there is no problem whatsoever to add 25 to 30%. But looks like, according to this logic, according to what he's saying, so wine may be less diluted than grape juice, and it's possible. I'm not saying how much, but it's possible that you can dilute wine even more than a grape juice. That's what it means. So of course we have to call them and ask them, and that's it, right? Unless, right, as we said, the perfect solution: drink a little of the grape of the undiluted, and then you can dilute it and drink as the way you want. No problem. So next, 7th is Vermouth. Vermouth is a wine fortified with alcohol and flavoring. Usually it is mixed with a small quantity with whiskey. For example, with a gin, or to make martinis. in which case the bracha is shechakol. I'm not sure why I think Jews should not do these things. We have to have clear mind, right? Not pollute with this alcohol, strong alcohol. There is a question among poskim as to bracha required for drinking Vermouth straight. I think Vermouth is like 18 degrees. I think we bought it once, and I don't know. I tried a little sip, and the rest my wife used for cooking. It's so
Rabbi,
disgusting.
we have to say no to Fabrengans.
Yeah. No, but it's so. I mean, it's waste of time. The poskim advise, therefore, that one wishes to drink Vermouth straight, he should make the Borei Pri HaGefen on wine, okay, and have specific intention to exempt the Vermouth. I mean, I think it's the strong like wine, but it's very strong. If one wishes to drink Shiur or Vermouth, an uncertainty will arise with regard to Brocha Achrona. For suggestion to bypass, so okay, it's a prolonged time or do something else. Okay, so let's see how long is the chapter. Okay, I think we can finish the chapter. So next one, B, is other beverages, beer, whiskey. Beverages such as beer and ale, although made from barley and miscellaneous grain, are nevertheless subject to shechakol. So on all of the beverages besides the wine, we say shechakol, as we said. Right. Similarly, the bracha on whiskey, which is distilled from grain, is shechakol. The commentary is regarding whiskey served during the course of the meal. See chapter 5. So that's why I was actually referring to when I said that bread does not cover all of the beverages always. So bread covers all of the dishes that are usually eaten with bread, like chicken, meat, fish, all of the pastas and other things, soups, and all of the beverages that are usually drank for digestion, right? So you need to swallow, so you drink water, you drink coffee, tea, you drink other whatever, juice, whatever it is, soda, right? But this whiskey, for sure, it's not for the digestion. So some people say that you have to say, not people, rabbis say you have to say separate blessing on whiskey. But others say no, it's actually for appetite, to whet your appetite, this and that. So it's not so simple. So it's better to make a blessing on something else, and keep in mind that it should also include this whiskey. Okay, that's the bottom line. Continue. Number 2, coffee, cocoa, tea. All the coffee is made from coffee beans, and cocoa is made from cocoa beans, fruits of the tree, right? The tea is made from tea leaves. Nevertheless, bracha is shechakol. So it is processed so much, so it's like it's very different from the original. Okay. There is a commentary. I'm not sure where is the commentary. So the commentaries say b'diavad, so after the fact, if one made Borei Pri HaEitz or Chadama on brewed coffee or tea, the bracha is valid. So if you say Borei Pri Chadama, the fruit of the ground, fruit of the ground, you say on a cocoa, or Borei Pri HaEitz even, because they grow on a tree. So or Borei Pri Chadama, the fruit of the ground. So after the fact, it is valid for coffee or tea. For tea only, of course, Borei Pri Chadama. It's because it's right. Okay, so and they say Borei Pri HaEitz or Chadama is not valid even b'diavad on instant coffee or tea. So on instant coffee, I did one more time because it was processed so much. I'm not sure. I think we discussed the production of the coffee. I think they brew it and then they freeze it, like evaporate the water, all of these beautiful things, and that's how they come up with the instant coffee or tea. So that's already, it was processed so much. It's not fruit of the ground or fruit of the tree. So that's a different story. Okay, next one, 3 is milk. The bracha is milk is shechakol. Okay, I'm not sure why would we think otherwise, but okay. Coconut milk. The bracha on coconut milk is shechakol. Commentary: B'diavad, if one make Borei Pri HaGefen or Chadama, the bracha is valid. I'm not sure why they say Borei Pri HaGefen. I think that the coconuts grow on a palm tree. Maybe it's very, very different palm tree. Maybe it's different. Because for all other palm trees, like regular palm trees, for bananas and other fruits, so we said there's actually Borei Pri HaGefen, not Borei Pri HaGefen. Okay, so anyway, after the fact, if a person drank this coconut milk, the proper blessing is shechakol. If she made this Borei Pri HaGefen, after the fact, no problem. Water. So water, believe it or not, a lot of people have this confusion about the water to make the blessing or not to make the blessing. So I mean, we discussed it a few times, but let's see. Not water. One drinks water because he is thirsty, shechakol is required. Very simple. If you want to drink, so that's what you do. You say shechakol. However, one drinks water for the purpose other than quench the thirst or as an enjoyable drink, bracha is not required. For example, one drinks a glass of water in order to take a pill, a bracha is not required. Commentary: provided he is not drinking the water also to quench thirst. So as we understand, it's two separate things, right? I mean, if you drink water to quench thirst, of course, and you also need to take a pill. That's you. Of course, you say the blessing, but sometimes you would say, I'm not sure if they're going to give this example, probably not. So sometimes you have that procedure. They have to check your stomach, stuff like that, right? Intestines. So they say you have to drink a gallon of water or 2 gallons of water. So of course that's not what you want to do. You want to stop, but because they need it for a test, so you drink. So of course there is no blessing on it, right? So blessing again only if we derive some pleasure. Flavored water beverages such as soda pop, kosher cold 8, type drink, etc. require shechakol. Unlike plain water, flavored beverages require shechakol even if one drinks them to help swallow pill. So all of the other beverages like flavored, for example, you have seltzer, and seltzer you also say blessing. So it's not since the bubbles, this gas in a seltzer changes the flavor, right? So it gives it's a little different flavor. That's why you always say the blessing. But for regular water, if you want to just swallow the pill, or like something got stuck in your throat, of course, like you're not drinking because you want to drink. You want to swallow whatever got stuck. So in these cases, you don't say the blessing in water. Okay. So any questions on what we said or different any topic? Go ahead if you have.
Yes, Ralph. You were talking about the tea and the coffee. So what about when people nowadays drink coffee with creamer or milk or tea with honey or sugar in it? Does that stay the same as well?
Yes, yeah. It's all first of all, in sugar we say shechakol, right? But again, we say shechakol even though it's a fruit of the ground, right? It was it came from sugar beets, or it came from sugar canes, right? And anyway, it's fruit of the ground. But since it was processed so much, and when we look at the sugar, so you cannot imagine the bit, so we say shechakol always. So all the screamers, they do not change the blessing. The only exception, as we said, if it's pure tea, right, you have to be tea leaves, or you have a tea bag, whatever you have, and by mistake you say Borei Pri HaGefen, like after the fact, when you say blessed Hashem for the fruit of the ground, after the fact, since it is true, these leaves are fruit of the ground for sure. There is no doubt about it. So after the fact, we say don't repeat the blessing. After the fact, it works. Okay, but all of this, whatever they add, there is no problem. I mean, the blessing stays the same. Okay, what else?
Yes, Rabbi. I have one question regarding the thing that we discussed about the soups. So I was having a question there. That do you have any knowledge of any, the croutons, the baked, bread pieces? Would they be? I mean, first of all, the quantity is small, but let's say, could you have something that's a motzi rather than a mezonot regarding the croutons?
Okay, so that's an amazing question. So croutons are two kinds. One is whatever you buy in a store, and the second kind that you can make in home, right? So how do you make croutons? You have leftover bread that you cannot finish. You cut it in cubes, you put it in the oven, you dry them, and you can use them. So those croutons, whatever I described, the homemade, for sure they hamotzi, always hamotzi. Even they dry them, it does not change the status. They're still hamotzi, right? But those that you buy in a store, most likely, commercially baked croutons, the ones, there are two kinds of croutons, right? The ones that you put in your salad, right? The pieces of bread that you put in a salad, and then the smaller one that you put it in a soup. Most of them, at least I'm not aware of any exception. Most of them are mizoines. Why? Because they cooked in oil. They're all deep fried. Why is so tasty? They deep fried. Guess what? So and they never hamotzi. They never bread. But the ones that you make at home, always bread. That's and it's first reason. And second reason, when they make it in a factory, right? They have this intention, so it's going to be used as a snack. They do not intend you to eat like the full bowl of these croutons. Like you would add to something else to enhance the other dish. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So if not, we can stop here and. Wish you good Shabbos until Monday. So Monday we'll decide, what topic we're going to learn. So if everybody's ready, so we're going to start new topic. If not, we're going to, at least this coming Monday, do like different, like one of our topics from Tuesday to Wednesday. Yeah, go ahead.
When I looked this up on, can you post the link to the classes, the videos on YouTube on the WhatsApp, or so that we can just click on the link and then view the videos on YouTube?
Could you say it again? I didn't get it.
I said, can you put a link to this series of classes on YouTube?
They are on YouTube. Not up to this class, but I'm not sure how many classes. I'm Beezrat Hashem. I'm going to send the link to the whole series.
You put the link on the WhatsApp?
Yes, Beezrat Hashem, yes.
Thank you.
Yes, okay. Of course, we're a little behind with YouTube because of different reasons. So sometimes we post, sometimes we don't post. So, but the first classes, they're also very, very important because now we're very little advanced. So we're building up with every class on the knowledge that we already had before. So I'm trying always to review to give us to remind us what we said in the previous classes. But sometimes I just continue, I forget to review. But please, for sure, buy the book, of course. Go by yourself over this book. Go with the lecture, because of course we add a lot of material that is not in the book, of course. But book is main curriculum. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, no problem. So, Baruch Hashem, I think our friends from the Florida survived. Baruch Hashem. So very happy to see you guys. And until Monday, Beezrat Hashem. Thank you very much. Good night.